Take the young child and his mother and flee into Egypt. This was the order by God. Virgin Mary and Jesus Christ found their safety and security here in Egypt. And to revive the path of the Holy Family trip, it's our right and our duty in the same time. We are living on a soil which witnessed such a long history of religious events, and here we are going to shed light on one of the most important events which took place here in Egypt not decades, centuries ago. To shed more light on this, we are very much delighted to have with us live here in the studio our dear guest, Mrs. Ghada Dous, our Egyptologist and historian. Thank you very much for being with us, and a very good morning to you.
Very good morning.
Let's start from scratch. All our information are from religious sources. How we knew in the first place about this holy trip?
Okay, so we have several sources of information. The first one, we find documents written in a manuscript. We call it Mimar, and this manuscript dates to about 384 AD, and it was written by one of the patriarchs. He was the 23rd patriarch, Theophilos, and his information about this journey came through a vision or apparition of the Virgin Mary, and through this vision he was able to know a lot about this journey. The second source, it is the writing of the historians, Greeks and Jewish, from the 2nd and the 3rd century AD. What we have in our Coptic church, what we have is called Synaxarion. The Synaxarion, it tells the stories of the saints and the heroes and stuff like that. So it spots 22 places where the Holy Family has been.
And there, of course, there is no differences or contradictions among the versions of the story, coming from all the resources, but they are the same. I mean, the same story, the same events.
Yeah, more or less the same, of course. Sometimes there is a vision, sometimes there is a miracle. So it's more or less the same. We can tell in total it's around 22 places that we have.
Would you please, Mrs. Ghada, forgive my ignorance regarding my simple questions, let's say so. They came on foot, or how did they travel in the first place?
Well, at that time they just came on foot and on the back of a donkey. That's it. So it was a very, very harsh journey at that time.
And how long was it?
They stayed for 3 years and few months.
Okay. I mean, all those 3 years and a few months were here in Egypt?
Were here in Egypt. They went to several spots because the reason for them coming to Egypt was the reason what made them move several times. At that time, well, the reasons for their coming here, it was Jesus when he was a baby. He was born in Bethlehem in Palestine. And there came to him 3 wise men. And they had the ability to prophesy. So the prophecy that Jesus will be the coming king of Judea. So this prophecy alarmed Herod, who was the king of Judea at that time, and he ordered the killing of all the newly born children. So a virgin appeared, an angel, appeared to Joseph and told him, take the child and his mother and flee into Egypt. And that's the saying of the Bible that you have just mentioned.
I'm asking these questions because I know where exactly did they go. I mean, 3 years and few months, meaning they moved from a province to the other, moving from Upper Egypt to Lower Egypt to Delta to even Sinai. How was the trip? I mean, the route.
Okay, so the route started all the way from the northeast. They came from northeast Sinai, went all the way to the area called Farama, which is close to Port Said nowadays, and then they started to go southwards. The first place where they have started, it's what we call nowadays Za'azi, or in the ancient time it was called Bobastus, because it was dedicated to an ancient Egyptian goddess.
Till the moment, I think it's Tel Basta.
Tel Basta, yes, Bobastus, Tel Basta. So this was the first place that they have visited, and it has actually a nice, interesting story. When they went to this place, you know, they come from a very poor Jewish family, so it was sunrise when they arrived, and the story tells that Joseph went looking all around for food and drink for the mother and the baby. And then unfortunately he was harshly turned away. So he stayed all the way until sunset when came an Egyptian called Aklun. And he was a farmer coming back from his field, and he asked him, "What's wrong with you?" He told them, "We are poor and we were coming to look for the fortress of Babylon." So Aklun invited them to his home. When they went to his home, they asked, "Where is your wife?" And he said, "My wife is ill." So that's considered to be one of the first miracles done by Jesus Christ, that he called the wife by name, "Sarah, rise and join us." And she rose on her foot and stayed with them. This is not only the end of the story. When Sarah became very good friends with the Virgin Mary, and she was telling the Virgin Mary about a feast that takes place in the town where they live, Bubastis or Telebasta. This feast, it's dedicated for the cat goddess Bastet of the ancient Egyptians. So the Virgin expressed her interest to go and see this place. The story tells that when the Virgin and baby Jesus entered this place, so the idols or the statues started to fall down. And it's a prophecy in the Bible that the Egyptian idols trample before him.
So كايرو، البحيرة الشرقية، كفر الشيخ، المنيا، أسيوط الغربية and North Sinai.
Yes.
If I want to have a tour or a program for our guests who are going to come here and to live the wonderful spiritual days exactly as made by the members of the Holy Family 2,000 years ago.
2,000 years ago,
Yeah.
yes.
I mean, approximately, of course, how many days should it take, and how we can make it the very same way? I mean, to duplicate what was happening and to make it happening in the 21st century.
Well, as I mentioned at the beginning, it's 22 spots, but of course not all of them are very well prepared to receive the guests. This place in Bubastis or Telebasta, it's now nicely done. Next place, it's a place, Matareya. It's very famous for the tree of the Virgin Mary. And again, it's very well prepared, and the area is renovated with gardens and hotels. And the importance of Matareya, it's not only the tree, because it is said that the Virgin Mary sat on the shade of this tree, and also it is said that the trunk of the tree has opened to shelter the Holy Family. Not only this, but the leaves of the tree itself has a kind of medical properties that they use it for healing. So it can be a religious pilgrimage and at the same time for the medical healing. This tree has survived all the way since 2,000 years ago until nowadays. It was just getting weakened when 1956 the priests of the church took a stem from the tree and planted it to enforce it. So Matareya, it's a very important site. Another place that we're not very familiar with, but it's very important, to the extent that there is, the historian Al-Maqrizi. Maqrizi mentioned that this place called Sakha is as important as going to Jerusalem.
To that extent?
To that extent. Why?
Yeah.
Because Sakha, it's a place between Damietta and Rosetta, the two branches of the river. Because it is believed that in this place is called in Coptic Isos, which means the imprint of Jesus Christ. It is mentioned that they were thirsty when they were walking around this area, and Jesus touched a stone, and from this place water has sprouted. This block of stone was found in 1988, the imprint of Jesus Christ, 1988, below the foundation of one of the houses. So this has revived the importance of the place.
Another miracle.
Another miracle, yes. So it has revived the importance of it. Another most beautiful place, picturesque place, it's called Jabal al-Tir in Minya. A lovely place. I've been there like a few months ago. It's very nicely done. The church is renovated. It's called the area. It's the church is called the Lady of the Palm, the
Yeah.
hand of Jesus Christ, because again the story says that Virgin Mary feared for the safety of Jesus because there was a block of stone falling down, and his imprint provided safety to the whole family. Not only that the place has this importance, but also the view. It's a very nice place on an upper hill, and there's a very beautiful hotel, by the way, done nowadays by the Egyptian government. I've been there.
We will speak, of course, about the state's effort to revive
Yes.
the path of the trip and the accommodation and the logistics, everything to be able to receive millions of visitors, inshallah, to live this spiritual atmosphere, as I said, here in Egypt. But I just wanna listen to what you're saying about each place, because this is going to be very important, or a source of attraction. It's not only about the facts, it's about the miracles, it's about the religious atmosphere, it's about the stories we have, and everything is already documented. I mean, we are not inventing tales.
Yes.
These are things which took place already on the ground.
Yes. So yeah, of course you're correct. So this is one of the places, which is Jabal Tir. Another place, it's Maadi. You know, in Maadi there's the Church of the Virgin Mary, because from Maadi, the Holy Family has taken a boat. They had some of connections with the fishermen, and they took a boat that took them all the way to the south. Well, the question that you also asked, why did they keep moving all the time? They kept moving all the time because Herod, who was ruling on Judea, ordered the Roman prefects and the Roman soldiers to look for them. So it was not only that they fled from this area, but they came to Egypt, but they kept on hiding in different places.
And of course, they were supported or helped by Egyptians.
They were, yes, like a place called, like the area called Zakazik, as I said at the very beginning, they were very nicely met.
There is another place in Asyut, I don't know how to pronounce its name, is Dronka?
Dronka.
Yeah.
In Asyut, actually, there are two important spots. The monastery called Deir al-Maharra. And why is it called Deir al-Maharra? Because they used to burn like the ashes and the reeds to prepare the ground for cultivation. So it's called Deir al-Maharra. And it's a very important place because they stayed in this place where the monastery is built 6 months. So that's the longest duration that they have stayed in one place. The other one you're asking about, it's Deir Dronka. And Dronka, again, it's in Asyut. It is like 10 kilometers south of the village of Dronka. And it is the last spot that from this place they left and went back all the way to Palestine, because the angel spoke to Joseph and he told him it's okay now to go back, because the one who wanted to kill Jesus is gone, and this was Herod. So Dronka, it's the last spot where they have stayed. And as you know, nowadays we are celebrating the fasting for the Virgin Mary for 2 weeks. Tomorrow
we are going to break our fast.
Tomorrow we'll break our fast.
Yeah.
So tomorrow, why especially at this time we celebrate the fasting of Virgin Mary? Again, it's the story mentioned in history, that's a history story, that one of the apostles of Jesus, Thomas, he was preaching in India, and when he came back, he asked, where is the Virgin Mary? She was already dead, and they told him she's dead, and he wanted to know where she was buried. And when he went to see where she was buried, he found that the body is gone, or has risen to heaven. So that is the event that the apostles of Jesus started to fast for 2 weeks. And that's why you fast from the 7th of August till the 22nd of August.
Yeah. Regarding the political leadership, of course, and the Egyptian state, efforts exerted, as you kindly mentioned, there is such a wonderful hotel in Minya, for example. This is one of the spots, and to find a good hotel there, this is something great. And you're talking also about the renovation of the church and stuff like that. Would you tell me, what do we need more? I mean, of course, there's a lot of other things to do. What's our homework?
Well, our homework, first of all, like what's happening now in Doronka, paving, of course, the road, cleaning the area, building a wall around it, adding a lot of greenery, making like rest houses for the people living there. And what's very important also, it's not only what we can do on the ground, but to make the people aware of the
This is
importance of
another
the site.
story, of
Yes.
course, because social media, I think now it's very important.
Of course.
Our role as media, and also, I don't know how this can take place on the ground. Pamphlets, the travel agencies to make very short documentaries about the whole story,
course.
how to attract people to come, even the Egyptians, because I think that Egyptian people would also really like
course.
to move from a place to another, where the Holy Family moved from a place to another.
That's true. That's true.
Let me know your vision regarding this.
As I said, the government is doing now, the governor in Asyut is doing very good work, tremendous work by making a wall and making greenery areas and clean rest houses for the people to spend nights. Also, you know, it's important, you know, because most of our very good hotels are like 5 stars, 6 stars hotel. We can make hotels clean, but not that expensive. So the journey can be affordable not only for rich people, but for middle class people. So I think the government is taking very good path about it.
And about social media?
And social media, of course, plays a very important role. I mean, social media, television, radios, programs, documentaries, and not only, I mean, here in Egypt, if we can make it through like Western channels or any foreign channels, this will make a lot of difference.
You know, while you were speaking, I was dreaming, for example, with the exhibitions of King Tut.
Yes.
What about during these exhibitions having these short documentaries just being aired, and to let people while watching this knowing that there were things which they should come here to experience themselves. This is an idea, for example. Other ideas, when we do celebrate a discovery, a new discovery, why not to add to this discovery such pamphlets regarding other issues like the solar boat of Cheops, for example, like the path of the Holy Family. Do we have the opportunity, or what I'm saying is applicable? I mean, these are things which can be implemented on the ground, or I'm only dreaming?
Well, no, you're not actually dreaming. Well, as you know, nowadays there is a huge exhibition for Ramses II in San Francisco, and it's booming. It's doing wonderful, wonderful work, because you know the last time the pieces from Tutankhamun was taken, like the golden mask was taken out of the Egyptian Museum, was in 1979, and you cannot imagine the numbers of people who came to Egypt after this exhibition. So definitely exhibitions out of the country. There was a discovery a few months ago of like a new city in Saqqara area. They're doing a lot of excavations on the west bank of Luxor, and it's on air. So of course we have started to learn, or to put our foot on the first step of how to make publicity about these places.
You know, I had the opportunity to have a guest who was just coming from a European tour, and I was very happy and proud in the same time when he told me that people from all the countries he visited kept on asking him about the Museum of Civilization because of the parade,
Yes.
because of the mummies parade, and how we celebrated on air the transfer or moving those mummies from their place to their place now in the Museum of Civilization. How do you see such events as a kind of propaganda for Egypt, and making the whole world attracted once again, not only to visit the pharaonic or the Egyptian partitions in other museums outside, but to come here themselves?
Well, of course, this makes a huge propaganda, like moving of the mummies. Maybe I guess at that time we needed more propaganda, but I mean it did well, extremely well. And of course we should be getting ready now for the inauguration of the Grand Egyptian Museum, GEM. So probably it's going to be in November. So I guess the government is doing very huge preparation for this. So.
Just yesterday, His Excellency Minister Ahmed Isa was there visiting
Yes.
the museum
Yes.
and meeting with people there, and he had given his instructions to continue with the same way and to eliminate all the obstacles to have the inauguration or the opening of the museum on time. But returning back to the holy trip, because it's really amazing to listen to even the surroundings, the atmosphere. What can we do, I mean, with the youngsters? Because also as you speak, I also had another dream to find the details of this trip in our curriculums, in our history, and to let our children know more details, to be that much excited to visit such places like Sakha, like Dronka, because when they read such, or when they study such trips, I think this is going also to boost their sense of belonging to Egypt and to know well how much they are born in a very great civilized country.
Well, of course, adding this journey in the Egyptian curriculum, this will be amazing. It's a dream, as you say. Already the Egyptian curriculum has changed a lot. I remember when I was at school, I didn't learn that much about Egypt in general. Nowadays, there's great improvement and great addition to the Egyptian stories and Egyptian history, rather than just learning the periods of the Arabs. That's the important part, or the modern time. No, nowadays students started to learn about the Egyptian history and archaeology. To add this, like even like a small chapter in the books of like elementary schools, it will be an eye-opening, I think.
Well, Mrs. Ghada Dous, our historian and Egyptologist, thank you very much for your input. You are an added value to our program. Thank you very much for coming. And we are going to leave you with a promise to see you again in more episodes, inshallah.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Well, right after the short break, we are going to return back with more, so stay tuned.